Today, the Department of Justice is announcing a civil lawsuit against the Maine Department of Education. The state of Maine is discriminating against women by failing to protect women in women's sports. Pretty basic stuff. This is a violation of Title IX. The Department of Justice will not sit by when women are discriminated against in sports. This is about sports. This is also about these young women's personal safety. I've met many of these women throughout the past weeks and months, and what they have been through is horrific. We have exhausted every other remedy. We tried to get Maine to comply. We don't like standing up here and filing lawsuits. We want to get states to comply with us. That's what this is about. We have repeatedly notified Maine of its infractions and urged them to remedy the situation to protect women. We've stripped grants from Maine through other departments, and we are going to continue to fight for women. Let me give you some examples. Let me give you a timeline. This timeline, I think, is pretty important. So in February 2024, these are just a few examples. A biological boy started competing in women's ski races and cross-country races in Maine. He came in first in the 5K with a time that would have been 43rd among men. In February 2025, a biological boy won first place in the pole vaulting competition in Maine's indoor track and field meet. He beat every other girl by a significant margin.
Oh my goodness, I don't know what in the world is wrong with these people. That was Pam Bondi and the Trump administration. They're fighting evil, y'all, like the true warriors that they are. Quite frankly, I believe they're heroes. I want to talk about this subject of Maine getting sued by the Department of Justice. But before we get started with my 2 cents, I want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. We got a problem, folks. There should be no confusion whatsoever about men competing in women's sports. There should be no confusion about women competing in men's sports. But that's really not a conversation, because it would be pointless for a woman to compete in male sports because she would lose. She would be irrelevant. Why are we having this conversation? Why are we having this conversation? I just think ever since the Obama administration reset the thinking of the entire United States to believe that there was no need for gender separation, no need for the natural way man and woman should operate with one another. And ever since then, we've had this onslaught of confusion about what a man is, what a woman is. Now we're talking about, because you can determine for yourself what you are, now you can cross the lines that we've had for so many years, in terms of public bathrooms, sports, and all of this happened by way of crossing the lines of marriage. Because when you cross the lines of marriage, and this video is not really about that, but it is about that, because this is, in my opinion, the foundation of where all this confusion comes from. All right. I think ever since Obama blurred the lines of marriage, And I say Obama, but I could be wrong about that. And if I am, put it in the comments. I believe Obama is responsible for blurring the lines, or at least his administration, at least his tenure, is responsible for blurring the lines of marriage, therefore leading to blurring the lines of gender, therefore leading to blurring the lines of public facilities, therefore blurring the lines of public sports. All right. Now, all of that being said, I personally don't have an issue with a person choosing for themselves what they want to do in their life. All right. I.e., if you want to be with the same sex, that's not my problem, and it's not a problem for me because it does not affect me. So I want to get the homophobic thing out of the way, because that's always the go-to whenever you resist the insanity of trying to blur all of these lines. And it's also the go-to in order to back a person down from pointing out the obvious, which is that we were created by the Most High God to be the way that we were designed to be. As imperfect creatures, we decided for ourselves, devoid of the design, how we would prefer to be in a lot of aspects, not just in the marriage realm or the gender realm, but in life, period. Check your Bible out if you want to get more information on that. Or if you're not into that, hey, it's still obvious. Now, I don't think it should be a question about men competing against women. What kind of man would want to compete against a woman? What kind of man would even want that? It doesn't make a bit of sense to me. Doesn't make a bit of sense to me. What you prove to yourself as a man, that you outcompeted a woman in an athletic capacity. Obviously, you're confused about your own gender, because a true man would not find any respect in that, no dignity in that, would not find any pleasure in that, and definitely wouldn't find any purpose in it. All right. So we're going to go out on a limb and say that anybody confused about this is definitely not a real man. Okay. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that there's no real woman out there that's confused about this, because what kind of woman would want to be wasting her time being destroyed in a competition by somebody who was designed by the Most High to be more physically capable by nature than them? This is a no-brainer. So why am I doing this video? Because I just gotta say publicly that we have lost our minds here in this country if we think that there should be no separation of sexes, there should be no division in sports, there should be no public restrooms catering to the different sexes. There are things that women go through that men don't have nothing to do with, don't have no idea about. And I'll tell you, I walked into a bathroom the other day and a woman came out the stalls, and me and another guy was walking in, and we both were caught off guard. And it was like, what the heck? I thought I was in here with a man. And then a woman came out of the stall in a male's bathroom. I don't know what she would get out of doing that, but I can't blame her right now, because that's what people are being encouraged to do. So y'all like this video, give it a thumbs up or give it a thumbs down, because I know I put some controversial stuff out there, but that's what this channel is all about, out of the box thinking. You know what I mean? So let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. We need to hear your voice, and we'll check you later. Peace.